In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the Love is in the Air scarf. It is a simple 1-row repeat. I worked up little heart motifs on the bottom edge, so that is the edge where we start, which tends to be flat. So I wanted to add a little something to that end. The other end is the last row that we work, and it has a nice finished edge look. So I didn't feel like I needed to add any heart motifs or anything to this end, but of course you're more than welcome to add those little hearts onto this end when you finish as well. For this project, I am using a 6mm crochet hook, 2 balls of Loops and Threads Facets yarn, and I will show you that in just a minute. It's just a 1-row repeat after you get the setup rows done. And I will show you how to add on these little hearts. Now I recommend working 1 ball fully, and before you join with that second ball of yarn, use that second ball of yarn to create your motifs. That way you can just finish that ball of yarn for the second half of your scarf and not have to worry about saving any for this end. Of course, if you're going to add those hearts to this side, you will have to stop a little bit short and save some yarn to add on the hearts on this side. So like I said, I'm using the Loops and Threads Facets. This is colorway Lollipop. It's a very pretty pastel-y color. 1 ball has 279 yards. And you can see the colors there, very pretty. And a 6mm crochet hook. We're going to start with a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to want to chain 41. Once you have your 41 chains, you're going to want a single crochet in the 6th chain away from the hook. We're now going to chain 3, skip 2 chains, and work a single crochet into the next. We're going to chain 3, skip 2, single crochet in the next. And we're going to repeat this until we have 2 chains left. When you have your 2 chains left at the end, we're going to chain 1, skip the next, and work a double crochet into that last chain. For row 2, we're going to chain 3 and turn, and we're going to be working into the chain spaces that we did for our first row. We're going to work a split shell stitch, so 3 double crochets into that space. We're now going to chain 2 and work 3 more double crochets into that space, and that is the split shell stitch. We're now going to find the next chain space, so that next chain 3 space, and we're just going to work 1 double crochet into that space. We're going to find the next chain 3 space and work a split shell. So the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets all into that space. We're going to find the next chain 3 space and work 1 double crochet into that space. We're going to find the next chain 3 space and work the split shell. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets all into the same space. Find the next chain 3 space and work 1 double crochet into it. Find the next chain 3 space and work the split shell, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. And you're just going to alternate these two throughout the entire row. Find the next chain 3 space and work a double crochet into that space. The next chain 3 space is going to get the split shell, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Find the next chain 3 space and work a double crochet into that space. We have 2 spaces left. We're going to work a split shell into the next chain 3 space. So 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into that space. We have this last sort of space here. We're going to work a double crochet into the top of what is the turning chain. So the 3rd chain from the bottom, we're going to work a double crochet into the top of that chain, and that will finish row 2. For row 3, we're going to chain 3, turn, and row 3 is the row repeat for this entire project. We're going to work a split shell into that first chain 2 space. So 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet into that space. Now we're going to find the double crochet that we did in between those split shells. So it's right there in between those 2 split shells that we did. And you want to find the top of that double crochet and just work a double crochet right in the top of that stitch. So each of our split shells will be separated by a double crochet. Find your next split shell and work a split shell into that chain 2 space. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And this is the pattern for row 3. Every chain 2 space of those split shells gets a split shell into it, and you work a double crochet in the top of each double crochet from the previous row. At the end of your row, you will work a split shell into that last split shell and then a double crochet into the top of the turning chain. So that chain right there, you want to find the top of that chain and just work a double crochet to finish the row. And that is the pattern repeat row 3 for the entire scarf. So I have worked up half of the scarf using 1 ball of yarn. I am now going to use the second ball to create the heart motifs on that beginning edge, and I'm just going to space them as I want at the bottom of the scarf. You're going to start with a slip knot on your hook, and you're just going to join into a bottom chain or even a space. You want to join with a single crochet anywhere along that bottom edge. You're going to chain as many chains as you want the length to be before you start your heart motif. So I like to do between 10 and 15. We're going to work into the third chain away from the hook, and you're just going to slip stitch into that third chain away from the hook. Turn that little loop that you've made over, so you're kind of working into the back of it. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to work 3 trebles right into the center of that little loop that we made. So there's 1 treble. I'm going to work 2 more trebles into that same space. So there's my 3 trebles. I'm now going to work 3 double crochets into that same space that we've been crocheting into. I'm going to chain 1 and work a treble into that space, and you can see that space grows the more stitches you put into it. It's easier to see. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into that same space. And now I've got a little bit of a knot, which is one of the minor issues of working with this type of roving yarn. So I couldn't get the knot out, but we'll just deal with it. So I have my 3 double crochets. I'm now working 3 trebles. There's that knot. 1 treble, 2 treble, 1 more treble, we're going to chain 2 and slip stitch right in the center of that ring to join. And I like to also slip stitch into the back chain just to kind of join that heart motif back onto the chain a little bit. So just slip stitch through a chain and there's your heart motif. You can go ahead, cut your yarn, fasten off, weave in the tails, and you can see I like to sort of have a variety of different chains lengths at the end, so it kind of, they're not all the same length. I'm going to do some short, some longer, spread out all the way across this bottom, and then you can use that second ball to continue on with your scarf. That finished edge is already a nice edging, in my opinion, for a finished edge, but you can certainly add the hearts on to that edge as well. I just worked my last double crochet into the end, and there is my last row completed. I've used almost that entire second ball of yarn. If you want a much larger scarf, then you'll need some more yarn, and you can just keep going for as long as you want. I will put the measurements of this scarf using 2 balls of the Loops and Threads Facets down below so you can check out all of my measurements. It is such an easy 1-row repeat. Once you finish, cut your yarn, weave in your ends, and we will have a finished Love is in the Air scarf. And there it is, the Love is in the Air scarf. A very simple 1-row repeat. This pattern works up so wonderfully with that Loops and Threads Facets. It would also work up really well with the red heart. Unforgettable. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, happy crocheting everyone. Bye!